What tastes better than a homegrown tomato? You can grow tons of tomatoes at very little cost. Here's the secret.
I plant it just like I'm going to plant sprouts. I'm just spreading these out.
Today is Saturday, and you know what that means. We go to you, and we celebrate what's going on in your garden. We also take viewer questions. We've had quite a few questions about tomatoes recently. So I'm going to share the secret of how to grow tons of tomatoes with very little cost. But first, I need to water in all these new transplants. The wind blew 50 miles an hour yesterday, and that kind of wind will definitely dry things out even in the deep mulch. So far, everything looks pretty good. A few of the broccolis that we overwintered are starting to put on heads. And our spinach that we planted in the dead of winter is really kicking in. So are our new seedlings.
Even our new carrots are starting to get their first true leaves.
These carrots and these beets, that lettuce, cilantro, cabbages, that cabbage is making a head. I think we're doing pretty good here. But while I go ahead and get a little water for these, let's go on down to Orlando, take a look at Bruce's food forest. Bruce went ahead and started a whole bunch of seeds for his second round about a month ago, to good effect. He's got all the usual suspects tucked in around all of the tropical plants. Nothing like planting another banana, picking up mulch wherever you can. Since we're talking about tomatoes today, Bruce got a great example of the soil temperature being warm enough all winter long to have vine-ripe tomatoes. 5 days to spring, he's got his second and third round already in the ground. Bruce, I know you're a little earlier than we are, but you give us all something to shoot for. And that patch of meringue is going to be massive. Thank you for continuing to inspire us. I'm down to tearing apart my last bale of hay, and we got this pile of wood chips that need to be spread out. I'd like to say I timed this out well, but procrastination always gets it done. But let's talk a little bit more about tomatoes. You got two kinds of tomatoes, obviously. Your determinate and your indeterminate. Your determinate, they're all going to be about the same size, and they're all going to fruit and be ripe just about the same time. Determinate. Indeterminate, they act like they are a vine, and they'll grow just as long as they can. Now in nature, a lot of times they're on the ground, and they root wherever they're touching the ground. So that helps support bringing in nutrients and water. Bringing them into a garden, we kind of manipulate them, whether you're going to do it in a container, whether you're doing it with a trellis, whether you're doing it with a cage of some kind. Thing is, as they mature, they're filled with water, and they get very, very heavy. So those little tomato rings, I don't recommend that at all, unless you're going to stake it, because they'll start getting some really nice size and then just fall over on you. Now, because we've domesticated them and brought them into our garden, there is a disease problem. If we water them wrong, we splash a lot of dirt and water up on them in the wrong time, they don't have a chance to dry out. They do have a chance to get blighty or powdery mildew, a few things like that. Also in a garden, especially if you're not spraying, they're susceptible to aphids and a few other pests. Tomato hornworms, to be exact. A tomato hornworm will come through and they can take a pretty good plant and top it out really quickly. But they're pretty easy to spot. You look for the droppings on the leaves. By using the deep mulch, that mitigates quite a bit of the disease problem. And this is how. By keeping the ground covered, you retain that moisture. And if you need to water, you can water right there at the base of the plant. You don't get a lot of the splashing of the mud. You don't get a lot of water on the leaves. And that keeps them drier. And that keeps a lot of the disease away. The deep mulch does eliminate quite a few problems with tomatoes. But tomato. Prune or don't prune. Take them at blush or go vine ripe. There's a lot of different opinions. Now I like to trellis. I take the suckers off in the lower leaves. We just take and wind them right on up. We've been pretty successful that way. I like to take them at blush. As soon as they start producing ethylene gas, they'll ripen inside just fine. But I'm not going to argue that point. I don't like sharing with the bugs. The longer I leave them out here, the more chance there is for them to get eaten by critters. But what I do know for sure is you can grow tons of tomatoes for very little money if you start them yourself. In a shallow tray, get them germinated. So a couple inches thick, got a nice little dome on top to hold the humidity. Let's fill this up with dirt and get some seeds in here. Today it's a little too wet to take any kind of soil out of the garden, so I'm just going to use some of my wife's potting mix. It'll be just fine. Make sure they've got soil contact, give them a little drink, and cover them.
I plant it just like I'm going to plant sprouts. I'm just spreading these out.
Just by scattering them across the top and putting a little soil on there and a little dome, keeping them on the windowsill, they've sprouted. It really doesn't matter what you transplant into. We're going to move these into the garden just as soon as they're big enough and it warms up. But for right now, we've been recycling these. There's a nice solid tray underneath so that we don't have to worry about spilling water. Now, any kind of stick will work. When you put your soil in here, you want it good and loose. And our point is, we're just going to push that down in and snug it back in around. So right now, I've just kind of filled these lightly. We've got a couple different kinds of tomatoes here. Actually, we've got several kinds. But this is that striped cherry. We really like that a lot. And this is a mixed variety. And we probably have some more in here that are going to germinate, but we're going to go ahead and pot up as many as we can. Now this is very, very simple. With the random sticks that you have, you just pull out your little plant, and they've got roots already. You put it about in the middle of your container. So you got a nice root there. You just lightly push that down in until it stands up. You snug in around it. In just a couple of days, see how much root that has. That's almost the size of the plant itself. Now these little stems and stuff bend pretty easy. You don't want to snap it. You want to make sure that your soil is good and soft. Now you can even take your finger and push that down in there. And remember, the entire stem roots on a tomato, which allows us to do this. Snug that down in there. And to prick these out, just take your stick, work underneath there, and these just pop right on up. I'm just going to transfer several of these over to containers, and then we'll push them down in and get them going. Because you can do this pretty quick. And now we've got a tray of baby striped cherry tomatoes. Let's go ahead and get a few of these random ones in containers. If you feel more comfortable using your fingers, that's fine too. These didn't take very long to germinate, so we got 4 there. I mean, you make a little depression. You just lightly sink that down in there, and the deeper you get it, the better your roots are going to be. Just don't drop them on the ground. You got to be very, very gentle with this. You don't want to break. You don't want to break the stem. You don't want to squeeze the stem. You're just lightly, very lightly moving these. You poke a hole down in there and snug it back in around. Now I know when I spread these out, I put them on here pretty thick, but I knew I was going to spread them apart, so it didn't really matter. You just poke a hole, snug that down in. And this is how fast you can do it. If you want to spend $6 a plant, or you want to plant up $600 worth in a couple minutes in your own backyard, it's up to you. But this is really how easy this is, and you can do this too. Mike and Linda are in Zone 8. They just planted their tomato starts in the deep mulch. That mulch has got that soil warm enough, they're going to take off. Mike, Linda, that was awesome, thank you. If you'd hit that like button, let everybody know just how much you appreciate them sharing what's going on in their gardens. And if you'd like to help motivate others and show what's possible in a garden, become a member of this little crew. There's no obligation, just send in a photo now and again. We'd love to celebrate what's going on in your garden. Well, I found a few more containers and I got a little ambitious. Planted up 72 more of these. We still have a couple if some of these don't take. Now when you water them in, they will settle a little bit. That's okay. You can come back and add some soil. Be just fine. I'm not supposed to freeze tonight, so we're just going to go ahead and leave these out here. Here's the secret of growing tons of tomatoes for very little money. Know when your first and last frost date is. That ground needs to be above 50 degrees. Anything less than that, they're just going to sit there. If you got a frost coming, you could lose all of your work. So start your seeds in a shallow tray, put a little dome on them or some plastic wrap. As soon as they germinate, up-pot them, and then you'll be ready to plant as soon as the ground warms up. And you're going to grow more tomatoes than you can use, which is a good thing, because once you start sharing with folks and they get a taste what a garden-grown, vine-ripe tomato tastes like, we can turn more people on to gardening. You can do this too. And until next time, remember, take care of yourself, take care of your family, and God bless you. Come on, let's plant.
Let's go plant garden.